I really believe the MMFF Hexacom is going to study that. I'm not a part of that process, but if there's something that I could agree with, I really believe we could bring back the summer. Maybe that would be nice. I know that in the time of PRD that there was going to be a summer, diba? But it got, because of the pandemic, diba? So maybe we can bring back the summer so we have two solid festivals a year. Opening up to international films, well, I would like to keep it Filipino because I think that's what we need to promote more. Our challenge really right now in the industry is the MCU, the Pixars, the Star Wars. It's become great competition. But you know, if our neighbors like Korea can do it, there's no reason why we can't. Right? So it's very positive.
Okay, my last question. Anong natutunan ninyo kay Joey Direk?
Oh my God, wow.
Okay, well, time has gone full circle, di ba?
Yeah, no,
Tony started with Joey.
Joey De Leon has taught me three things. He taught me how to live, love, and laugh. You know, if I just can speak a little bit about Joey De Leon. Again, at 70 plus years old, you know, for him to say yes to young filmmakers like me and Toni during a pandemic, go out of his comfort zone and to spend almost a month of shooting with us. You know, he's actually there earlier pa than me sometimes because he wakes up early. He's there from 6, 7 a.m. He's just in his car. You know, even if his call time is 8, he's there early and he'll stay till, and he's talking to Ronnie, he's there, you know. And I said, you know, if I had half the passion of a Joey De Leon when I'm in my 70s, I think that would be successful. I mean, that is why he's an icon. That's why he's a living legend. And I'm so humbled and grateful that he said yes to Toni and I to do this film. He doesn't have to do this film. I mean, he does not have to do this film. Let's be honest. But he wanted to do it, and that's why it's given me kind of like a breath of fresh air. You know, if Joey De Leon can do this, I should be able to keep up with him. And yeah, hopefully you see his great work on Christmas Day. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you, Kuya Mario. Our next set of questions will come from the best-dressed entertainment editor of the Manila Times, no other than Tessa Mauricio Ariola.
Thank you. I gave him his Christmas gift today, so he said that. Direk, hello. How should we address you now? Should it be
Direk Paul is
Direk Paul.
fine.
Well, you are Mr. Secretary, though.
Thank you.
I was just wondering if I could ask you, of course, it's almost the new year, and we'd like to leave the past behind. So just maybe once and for all, maybe we could just ask you, because when we had Toni here a few weeks ago, we asked her, how she felt during the time that, the whole political thing laid heavy on her, and she, more than you actually, she became sort of the person that people were talking about and the whole time. How did you feel when that all happened to Toni early this year?
Well, I think what people need to understand, whatever happens to Toni also happens to me. I mean, we're married, we're one, and of course, as a husband, you need to validate also what she's going through. You can't just say, don't mind it, let it go. Because some of the hateful words, some of the hateful criticism came from people that she really admired, that she really respected, and that she really loved. But to be honest with you, after observing this last year, and I take this for what it's worth, but because I like to look at everything like a film. And in every movie, you have your protagonist. So I say those are our antagonists. I mean, that's just what it is. That's what makes life exciting. When you have a little bit of conflict, a little bit of drama. If there's a formula for failure, it's trying to please everybody. And you cannot. It is impossible to please everybody. Study history, study politics, show business. Even the best directors in the world, the best actors in the world have critics that are also very respectable as well. I'm a big fan of Steven Spielberg. Imagine that, he still has critics. And we're talking about worldwide criticism. So, what Toni and I have come to realize is that's their role in our lives. Sila ang antagonists. And we just have to embrace it. Our job is not to make them think like us. That's not what Toni and I really believe in is that if the people close to us, the significant people in our lives, if we can agree and be happy together, that's more than enough for us. We cannot really worry about the things we can't control. That's just what it is. We're just going to stress ourselves out. We're just going to get tired. What can we control is our own little world, right? And the people that are really close to us. But, you know, Toni and I, we extend our hand. We love everybody. I mean, we have kind of taken a step back and we understand where all that's coming from. That's fine. Everyone is entitled to that. That's what a democracy is, or that's what freedom of speech is. Everyone has the right to voice it out. But does it mean we can't work together? I beg to differ. I believe we still can. To be honest with you, in my upcoming slate of 1017 and TINCAN, there are some directors and writers that voted for other groups. But we can come to my office and work together, so it's possible, come on. If you want to work with me, my doors are open. If you don't want to work with me, I respect that. I think that's a universal rule, even without politics, religion, or anything. I mean, it's just the way the world works. I choose to see the talent in people. I don't choose to see in their lifestyle. Because I'll be honest with you guys, nobody is perfect. We all have skeletons in our closet. We all have this and that. But what I choose to see is the talent. If I feel this director, this writer is great for this project, I'm not gonna go on his feed or Google this, ay, ganito siya, ay, he voted for like this, oh, she likes this. No. I see the vision in this director. Kaya niya. This is the best person for this film. It doesn't have anything to do with political, spiritual, and gender beliefs. I want to work with everybody. You know, and if they want to work with me, my doors are open. Because I really believe, like I said earlier, the best stories, the best things creative, come from a group of people that can disagree, but agree on one thing, and that's telling the best story possible.
How do you stay so positive despite it all? Because politics is really, different. It's about even worse. It's more hurtful. It's more, people there.
Tama, yes.
Yes. How do you stay positive like you are now and seeing the good side of people?
It's really my family. It's my wife and my son. I guess I would probably be affected if my personal life started changing for the worse. But I really believe I'm living my best life now. And yeah, I made some decisions that maybe some of my friends in the industry didn't agree with. But so did they. They made decisions too that I didn't agree with. It's two sides of the coin. But from my perspective, I feel like I'm at the best place right now. And I'm not just saying it's politically, I'm not just saying it because of my work. I'm just saying it with my family. We're at peace. And we choose to live at peace. And I really believe, naman, that 2023, majority, maybe not all, I can't speak for everyone, we'll leave it behind. I really believe in this saying, let's live in the present, working together for a greater future. I think that's all we can really do. Whatever happened yesterday, 10, 20, 30 years ago, it's in the past. And let's just let the experiences and the opportunities that we have now and tomorrow and the next 6 years, 10 years, let's work on that. Sayang.
So we leave all that in the past.
At least for me, again, at least I speak for myself. I speak for myself. Everyone has their own philosophies. But I feel I want to spend my time on the now. Parang sayang if I keep dwelling. I'm not saying we forget the past. I'm not saying we don't learn from it. We are all where we are today because of the decisions we've made in the past. All of us, right? And we are all, we all have to face the consequences of the decisions we make, good or bad, right? And I've made mistakes. I've failed many times. I'm also not Mr. Positive all the time. But, the simple joys like seeing my son happy, bringing him to school, having interesting, engaging conversations with him. I think that's why I feel like I'm living my best life now.
So moving on and looking forward, we've always said, I mean, everybody always says that the talent of the Filipino is world class. Number one, should be able to make movies all over the world, sing all over the world. But it's always just talk, I think. With you being there, can the industry really hope that there is someone who's going to to get things going, and that people, the creatives, can hope, to get jobs and to get help and, a push towards going international and all that? Can you promise that to us, being there now?
100%. I'll give it my best. At least in my little industry, in my little office, I believe we've done our best. As 1017, as TINCAN, we made a handful of films. Maybe not all box office success, but we've been able to go to Berlin, to Cannes. We've been able to do that. Our own little part. So whatever experiences that I can take to this government office, I'll do my best. But I also like to say that, especially to the creative industry, the government, will be here to support. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you. It's up to you. And I think the industry today, even without me, without my office, even before my office was created, you have some of the best Filipina actors making waves around the world. You have Miss Dolly De Leon, who I really believe is just gonna get an Oscar nomination, right? Or a Golden Globe nomination. She is just, and that was all on her. And the many decades that she's been, she was, not many people know that she was a receptionist in the Sinagot. She's one of the great character actresses. She also came out in some other of our films. And look at her, shining a light on the Philippine industry abroad. You have also Soliman Cruz, who I worked with in my very first film, A Journey Home. He started an international film that went to Venice. And of course, you have Lab Diaz, you have Brillante Mendoza, and then you have, of course, a young filmmaker like Leonor Will Never Die. Miss Sheila Francisco, who I've known for 20 plus years. I think if not her first lead role with a young filmmaker making waves in Sundance. An Indie Spirit Award. Imagine this was done all on their own. And then of course you have Eric Mati, OTJ. I mean, he created probably one of the greatest franchises in Philippine history. HBO, Venice, Best Actor. You know what I'm saying? So the Filipino really is the most talented for me in the world. And I'll say this also because I've been to many international film festivals. And why is the Filipino actor, Filipino actress the most talented? Because they don't just act, they sing, they dance, they illustrate. Do you see other actors around the world doing that? Filmmakers are also writers, we're also producers, we're also production managers, we're also production assistants. We do it all. So the creative industry is in a great place. I'm just here to hopefully be that bridge to more support. Maybe be that ear to listen. Maybe I can reveal some plans for next year, but I want to be able to give key creative figures, if they're willing, to have time with the president, to tell them really what they need and what his administration can do to help the creative industry. I want to talk to, of course, a lot of the interagencies also there, if we can create some sort of town hall meeting with the creative industry. Because we need to listen, we need to hear it from you. He always asks me, "Anong problema?" Well, we have to talk to the people. So yeah, imagine if that, without the support so much from the government, we're able to do this. And hopefully for the next 6 years, I can be that bridge and shed more support and more development, more light to the creative industry.
Thank you very much.
Direk, you raised the Philippine flag at the Hawaii International Film Festival, right?
Yeah, we were there. We're in Hawaii. I mean, we were in Hawaii, Tokyo. So I mean, my almost 17 years in the industry, my own little way, I've been able to experience also and collaborate with some of the best filmmakers I was able to produce for Lab Diaz, and experience his film competing in Berlin. So yeah, I mean, with more push, I really believe that this administration is also creatively driven. I guess that shows also with my appointment. And the president consistently saying to everyone, ang galing talaga ng Pilipino. That's why I always say, taas noo, kahit kanino. Because we need to be proud of who we are.
Exciting year.
Because the Filipinos really are the best.
Exactly.
We give the world our best. Dolly De Leon, Soliman Cruz.
Right.
We give them the best. And when you give the world your best, where does that all come from? The Philippines.
Right.
So that means we're the best.
Agree. Thanks, Direk.
Tama. Thank you.
Okay. At this point, we'd like to acknowledge the presence of the executives of Winford Manila, and of course, the very generous Joy Serrano of Godfather Productions.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr. P. Okay, our next question will come from the amiable entertainment editor of The Manila Bulletin, rather than Bobby Recantina.
Magandang hi, Direk. First question. I want to know if you have any memorable or favorite teachers when you were still in school. Kung sino kwenta ko.
That's a good question. I'd like to think everybody has, one teacher or someone that we can remember that helped us. Well, for me, I think it would be, not necessarily. I remember I had this communication teacher when I went to school in Santa Clara. He was an American guy. He kept challenging me. I wasn't exactly the best in class. I didn't really get the highest grades. There was a lot of people there a little bit better than me. But he always pushed me. He always told me that something that has stuck to me. It's really all about you. It's really up to you. You cannot blame anybody else but yourself. And that's what got me up in the morning all the time. Especially when you're living in the US, if you don't do it yourself, nobody else will. And that's kind of how it is in this world. And I guess stop making excuses. I guess another thing also that he taught me was stop negotiating with yourself. Because sometimes may goals tayo, like New Year, may mga resolutions tayo. Sabi mo na lang, let's get physically fit, Okay, I'm gonna get in shape, next year. And then when the day comes, nag-negotiate sa sarili. You made a promise. When you make a promise and a goal with yourself, don't negotiate with yourself anymore. Once you start negotiating with yourself, wala na, talo ka na. So ganun. So that's what I try to do. When I set a goal, no matter how hard it is, I do my best to go for it. And even if I don't get it, at least I'm trying my best.
And then, Direk, your plans for the holidays with the family?
We'll just be here in the Philippines. We'll be here in Manila. Maybe we'll just take a drive somewhere south, get some fresh air. But yeah, the family will be here. It's quite busy. As I said, my office is pretty much every day to day now. We're gearing up for a really busy 2023. So we'll just be here in the Philippines.
Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bobby. Our next set of questions will come from my teacher, quote unquote, Jerry Olea of PEP.
Thank you, Alvaro. Direct Paul, clarifications lang. Nasabi nga ni Mario, reluctant ka na tumanggap ng offer sa dito sa government. Pero paki-clarify lang, totoo ba yung mga baling-balita na may ibang post na ino-offer sa iyo na tinanggihan mo, like halimbawa sa NCCAs, FRCB, sa iba pang agency, government agency?
Well, yeah, I really believe that there was no truth to that. I mean, I think it was one of those things where I was just so visible during the campaign of the president. My wife and I were so visible, from the Tony talks in September all the way up to the proclamation rally. So parang people just assumed that me or Tony would get a position easily. But at the end of the day, it's the president. I mean, it was never to get a position. We, again, as I said earlier, we sincerely and genuinely love the first family, the president and the first lady. So that's why we're there to just help. Now, all of those other things, I guess it's just hearsay or just people, keeping the entertainment going. But I mean, if you notice, the position that I eventually got was something the president just created on his own. It's not even it wasn't an office that existed. I think it was an office that he created specifically for me, for his administration, because he felt that's how I work best. And I never saw this coming, and weeks leading up to it, I remember that. It just so happened also to be my birthday, so it was just one of the most memorable birthdays that I've had. And again, just so thankful, very, very thankful to the President and the First Lady for the trust they've given me and are giving me now So it's still overwhelming. I'm still learning. But when the president trusts you, that's a big responsibility. So I really take this very seriously. And I will do my best. I told the president and the first lady, I hope to make you proud.
Sabi mo nga,